Make sure you're opening and closing your telescopic fishing rod correctly so that you don't damage it or break it. Stay tuned. What's up everybody? Todd Welch here from the High Altitude Brands and Backcountry Trail, and today I have my High Altitude Brands Backcountry Telescopic Fishing Rod, and I'm going to show you how to properly open and close this telescopic rod, but it also will work for pretty much any telescopic rod that you have out there. These are basic steps and tips that you should follow to make sure you don't accidentally damage or break your rod. Before we get into that, down below, click subscribe, then click that little bell and get alerted to more videos just like this. And while you're down there, leave me a message. Let me know what kind of fish you like to go out and fish for with your telescopic rod and why you prefer a telescopic rod. Alright, so let's go ahead and get into this. Alright, so my telescopic rod, I already have the line on it, the reel and everything like that. So if you already have your line and everything on there, which is most likely the case, you're going to want to open your bail and let your lure and line fall out a ways before you open it. Otherwise, you're going to be running into your hook and not be able to open it all the way, and you could damage the eyes if you're pushing on these eyelets with your lure or with your hook. So let the line out first. As far as it'll go, I just dropped it to the ground. And then the first instinct, or what's the easiest to do, is just to grab onto these eyelets. And these eyelets, though, they can break off. If you're pulling and tugging and twisting on those, they could break on you. Now, the ones on the high altitude rod, we have extra strong glue on here to make sure they're not going to come loose very easy. But if you're twisting and turning on there, again, they could come loose. So resist the urge to twist and turn on that as much as possible. Now you're going to have to a little bit to get them started, but as soon as you have it starting to come out, you're going to want to grab the shaft of the rod instead. So the first thing that I'm going to do here is just grab the very bottom guide. So you can see the silver guide here, and I'm just going to grab and pinch onto the actual guide. You'll notice I'm not grabbing onto the guides here. I'm grabbing onto where the guides are connected to the body. And I'm going to kind of just twist a little bit and pull out. Because if it's stuck at all, that twisting motion is going to help get it loose. Now that I have it out, I'm going to grab the shaft here, bring it out the rest of the way until you feel it start getting snug. Don't go all the way snug on it, because what you're going to want to do is make sure that this eyelet here is lined up with your reel seat. So where your reel attaches, or the hook keeper is in the case of the High Altitude Brands one here, line that up the best you can. You can even eyeball it like this, and then once you think you have it as straight as possible, then go ahead and pull it more snugly. Don't be ranking on it really hard, just nice and snug. You don't have to go super hard, just give it a nice pull so it's in place. Close my bail there so the line stops coming out. Alright, so now once you have that one in place, you're going to want to do the next one down the line, the next guide. So again, grab where the guide is on the rod blank and just kind of twist a little bit. You can see I'm just kind of rocking it back to get it loose. Bring it out and line it up again and pull it nice and snug. And then go ahead and do the next one as well. Mine already came loose. Yours may or may not. And line it up best you can. Give it a little pull. Do the next one. Give it a little pull. And remember, don't be pulling on these eyelets. Don't be grabbing onto the eyelet here and pulling on that, because that's going to break off if you're doing that. Make sure you're holding onto the blank, or at the minimum, the where the eyelet is attached. Now we can pull out our last blank and pull it snug, and there you have it. We have the whole rod out and working for us here. I can reel up my lure, tighten up my reel there, and we have the fishing rod ready to go. We're ready to go fish. All right, so that is how you extend it. You go fish for the day, now you're done fishing. What some people feel like they want to do is just grab out here at this tip and just push it down in, and that's how you end up breaking this tip. This last blank is going to be the weakest and thinnest blank just because it's the thinnest. So you're going to want to be extra careful when you're putting this back in. And I never start from this end, because if you start from this end, you've got all these weaker blanks down here, and if you're pushing on it and bending it and trying to get it in, you could possibly break it. So what you're going to want to do is start at the very last blank again, just like when we opened it, we started at this last one. Grab onto the rod blank in the middle. Again, don't grab the eyes at all, and just twist it. So I'm going to twist the handle down here and the handle down and the rod blank here, just real softly, not much at all, and it'll start going right in for us, nice and easy. Now I'm going to hold this one here, so I'm going to grab where that rod blank ends, where the guide is, and just kind of hold it there between my fingers like that, and then do the same thing here. Twist and just get it going and bring it back in. You can pull your line out a little bit, and now pinch the next one, twist. Do your best not to be putting pressure on this guide, and slide that one in. Hold it, twist, and slide it in. And notice that I'm kind of rocking back and forth there. Now this last one is where you want to be most careful because it's the thinnest, so obviously that's going to be the weakest point. So I like to grab as far down as I possibly can where it's a little bit thicker. Pinch it between my fingers, kind of twist it like we did before, and bring it right back in. Then you can reel up your line. And if you have a hook keeper on your rod, hook your lure onto the hook keeper, and you are good to go. That is the proper way to extend and then shrink back down a telescopic fishing rod so that you can extend the life of your rod and not cause any damage to it. Follow those procedures and you shouldn't have any problems. Most people have problems with telescopic rods. They end up either breaking this last rod blank because they're grabbing it and trying to push it in from there, or they're twisting on these guides and eventually they're going to work the glue loose, or they could break off one of the guides completely and then you're going to have to replace the guide. Now down below, make sure you check out some of our other videos that we're going to have as well, which is how to properly maintain your fishing rod to keep it working fantastic for years. And then also we're going to have another video on how to replace these rod blanks if you were to break one. So keep an eye out for that. Check those links down below. Also, we have giveaways all the time of these high altitude brands telescopic fishing rods, so check that out down below as well. Hit that subscribe and the little bell to get notified of more videos if you haven't already. Other than that, this is Todd Welch with the High Altitude Brands and the Backcountry Trail signing off. Tight lines, everybody.